Ava and Lincoln, brother and sister, two peas in a pod. They laughed, played, and sometimes fought, but their bond was unbreakable. Their world was about to change. A storm was brewing, threatening their light and joy. In a dimly lit vintage store, Lincoln searched for a unique gift for his mother. Among the relics, a small wooden box caught his eye. The box, plain yet intriguing, seemed to pulse with unseen energy. Despite a jolt of unease, Lincoln knew he had to have it. He couldn't explain it, but the box whispered of forgotten magic and ancient secrets. Lincoln felt uneasy as he brought the box home. He found Eva playing, her joy infectious. At dinner, he presented the box to his mother.
It's beautiful, Lincoln. Where did you find it?
Just an old store I found.
The box sat on the table, demanding attention.
What's inside?
Eva's curiosity led her to open the box. Inside, a silver amulet shaped like an eye stared back. A shiver ran down Lincoln's spine.
Maybe we should leave it closed.
It's pretty.
Ava touched the amulet and a chill swept through the room. Her demeanor shifted, eyes darkening, smile twisting.
Eva?
An invisible barrier of fear separated them.
Ava, put it down.
That night, Eva's screams echoed through the house. Lincoln lay awake, paralyzed by fear. His parents' whispers outside his door were laced with worry. Sleep brought unsettling dreams of shadows and whispers. The house felt oppressive, a nightmare he couldn't wake from. Ava's behavior grew erratic, her whispers in an unknown language. Lincoln tried to reach her but was met with cold silence or chilling laughter. One night he crept to her room, heart pounding. He hesitated, then pushed the door open. The sight inside filled him with profound terror. Ava's room had transformed into something cold and alien.
Eva?
Ava stood in the moonlight, her being twisted and grotesque. Her eyes were empty, her features gaunt, her smile a grotesque parody.
Eva, what happened to you?
Ava turned, the amulet glinting in the moonlight.
Lincoln,
Her voice was a low growl, not human.
come closer, brother. Don't you want to play with me?
Eva, no, this isn't you.
The air around Eva crackled with dark energy.
Eva, it's me, Lincoln. We can fight this together.
Cruel laugh echoed from Eva's throat.
You think you can stop this?
Lincoln, get out of there!
Lincoln felt powerless, struck by his sister's venomous words.
I can't leave her like this.
Determined, he stepped into the room.
I have to save her.
He faced the darkness, a beacon of hope against unimaginable terror. The weight of Ava's transformation pressed down on Lincoln like a physical burden. He felt the shift in the house, the air thick with a silent menace that clung to every shadow. His once playful banter with his sister was now replaced by a chilling silence, punctuated only by her guttural whispers and unsettling laughter. He carried the burden of his fear with him everywhere.
I can't focus. I can't think.
It gnawed at the edges of his thoughts at school, making it impossible to focus on his studies. It followed him home, amplifying every creak of the floorboards and rustle of leaves outside his window into potential threats.
Everything feels wrong.
His parents, their faces etched with worry and confusion, seemed to age before his eyes. The once vibrant energy of their home had been replaced by a suffocating tension, a shared terror that none of them dared to speak aloud. Lincoln felt responsible. His discovery of the box, the catalyst for this nightmare, the guilt gnawed at him, a constant reminder of the innocence he had unwittingly shattered. He knew he had to find a way to fix this, to bring back his sister, to restore the light and laughter that had been stolen from their lives.
Determined, I have to fix this. I have to.
Driven by fear and a desperate hope, Lincoln retreated into the sanctuary of his room, seeking answers in the dusty pages of his father's old books. The room, filled with the scent of aged paper and ink, became his refuge from the chaos outside. He devoured tales of folklore and ancient legends, his mind searching for any mention of curses, possessions, or anything that could explain the horrifying transformation that had befallen his sister. Each story he read seemed to pull him deeper into a world of shadows and whispers. He spent hours hunched over ancient texts, his brow furrowed in concentration as he deciphered faded ink and archaic language. The weight of the knowledge he sought pressed heavily on his shoulders.
There has to be something, anything, some clue, some hint.
The room, usually his haven, now felt like a reflection of his turmoil. Books piled haphazardly on the floor, papers scattered across his desk, each scribbled note a testament to his growing desperation. The once orderly space was now a chaotic mess mirroring his frantic state of mind. He stumbled upon tales of haunted objects, cursed artifacts imbued with malevolent spirits. These stories, though terrifying, offered a glimmer of hope. He read of ancient rituals and forgotten languages, his heart pounding with a mixture of fear and morbid fascination. Each page turned was a step deeper into the unknown.
Nothing. None of this makes sense. Why can't I find the answer?
But none of the stories resonated with the chilling reality of Ava's condition, the sheer malevolence that radiated from her once innocent eyes. The transformation was beyond anything he had ever read. He felt lost in a labyrinth of ancient lore, each page leading him deeper into the heart of a darkness he could barely comprehend. The more he read, the more elusive the answers seemed. Yet he pressed on, driven by the unwavering belief that somewhere within these dusty tomes lay the key to saving his sister, to banishing the evil that held her captive. His determination was a beacon in the encroaching darkness.
I won't give up. I will save her, no matter what it takes.
Then, late one night, while sifting through a particularly ancient and ominous-looking volume, he stumbled upon a name that sent a shiver down his spine. The Dybbuk box. The words leapt out at him from the page, their very presence seeming to crackle with an unholy energy. He devoured the text, his blood turning to ice as he read about the Dybbuk, a restless, malevolent spirit that could possess the living, twisting their souls and feeding on their life force. The book spoke of a container, often a simple wooden box, that could trap these entities, but warned of the dire consequences should the box ever be opened. His mind raced back to the vintage store, to the strange energy he had felt emanating from the box, the way it seemed to beckon him closer, whispering promises of forgotten secrets. A cold dread settled in the pit of my stomach as he realized the terrifying truth. He hadn't just brought home a gift, he had brought home a curse. The carvings on the box, once innocuous swirls of wood grain, now appeared sinister, like the contorted faces of tormented souls trapped within its depths. He had unwittingly unleashed something ancient and evil into their home, and now his sister was paying the price. Despair threatened to consume him, but Lincoln clung to the last vestiges of hope offered by the ancient text. The book spoke of a way to banish the Dybbuk, a ritual, dangerous and complex, but a chance, however slim, to free my sister from its clutches. He studied the ritual meticulously, committing every detail to memory. He learned of the materials needed: candles of consecrated wax, salt blessed under a full moon, a silver mirror to reflect the entity's true form. Each item was steeped in ancient lore, each step fraught with potential danger, but he refused to be deterred. His heart pounded with a mixture of fear and adrenaline as he gathered the necessary components, his every thought consumed by the impending ritual. He knew the risks, the possibility of angering the entity further, of making Ava's condition even worse, but he had to try. He had to fight for his sister, for his family, for the life they once knew. Under the cloak of a moonless night, when the world seemed to hold its breath, Lincoln gathered the elements for the banishing ritual, each item chosen with meticulous care. His heart hammered against his ribs, a relentless reminder of the stakes, a frantic drumbeat in the silence of their home, echoing through the stillness. He moved with a practiced stealth, every step calculated, acquired from years of sneaking downstairs for late-night snacks, a skill now repurposed, but now fueled by a desperate urgency, a need to protect. The air hung heavy with unseen menace, thick with tension, the atmosphere so thick he could barely breathe, each breath a struggle, each creak of the floorboards a potential betrayal, each sigh of the wind against the windows a whisper of danger, sounded like the whispered threats of the entity, unseen but felt. Fear, cold and sharp, pricked at my skin, a constant companion, but he pushed it down, focusing on the task at hand, determined to succeed. Focusing on the task at hand, every movement deliberate. In the living room, a space now transformed, away from Ava's darkened room, a sanctuary of sorts. He arranged the candles on the floor, their placement precise, their flickering flames casting dancing shadows on the walls, creating an eerie ambiance. He placed the silver mirror in the center, its surface gleaming, its polished surface reflecting his own pale face, a ghostly image, his eyes shadowed with fear and determination, a mix of emotions. He sprinkled the blessed salt in a circle around the mirror, a protective barrier, its presence a tangible barrier against the encroaching darkness, a line of defense. His hands trembled as he prepared the final element, a small vial of holy water, the last piece of the puzzle, obtained from a sympathetic priest sworn to secrecy, a man of faith. He clutched the vial tightly, its significance not lost on him, its coolness against his palm a source of fragile comfort, a small reassurance. This was his only weapon against the ancient evil that had invaded our home, a beacon of hope, his last hope of saving his sister, his final stand. The house creaked, a low groan that seemed to emanate from its very bones. He could feel the entity's presence growing stronger, drawn to the ritualistic preparations like a predator to the scent of blood. His gaze darted towards the hallway, his heart pounding in his chest. The flickering candlelight cast long, distorted shadows on the wall, obscuring the figure that lurked just beyond his sight.
Eva?
But deep down, he knew it wasn't his sister standing in the hallway. It was something else, something ancient and evil, wearing her skin like a disguise. It sent chills down Lincoln's spine, a primal fear that transcended language and reason. His grip tightened on the vial of holy water, his knuckles turning white. This was it, the moment of truth. Her eyes, once bright and full of life, now glowed with an eerie green light, reflecting the malevolent entity that had taken root within her soul. Her features now were twisted into a grotesque parody of a smile, revealing teeth that seemed to have lengthened, sharpened, taking on a predatory edge. Fear threatened to paralyze him, but Lincoln clung to the words of the ritual, his only shield against the encroaching darkness. He had come too far to back down now. He had to be strong for Eva, for his family, for himself.
I banish you, creature of darkness. Leave this vessel, this innocent soul, and return to the abyss from whence you came.
The words hung in the air, charged with power and desperation. The entity, still wearing his sister's distorted form, tilted its head as if considering his words.
You think you can control me, little one? I am older than time itself, more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
You may be powerful, but you are trapped here, bound to this realm by your own darkness, and I hold the key to your prison.
He raised the vial of holy water, its contents shimmering in the flickering candlelight. The entity recoiled, a hiss escaping its lips, as if the holy water burned it like acid. The room seemed to pulse with energy, the air crackling with the tension of their confrontation. The battle had begun. Lincoln stood his ground.
You cannot defeat me.
You're wrong.
He closed his eyes, picturing Eva's face. He clung to those memories, drawing strength from the love that bound them together, a bond the Dybbuk could never break.
Get out! Leave her alone!
A blinding flash of light erupted from the point where the holy water struck Eva's chest, illuminating the room with an almost divine brilliance. The air crackled with raw energy, the force of the impact throwing Lincoln back against the wall with a bone-jarring thud. He cried out as his shoulder slammed against the plaster, pain radiating through his arm. But he never took his eyes off his sister, his determination unwavering. The shadows that clung to Eva's form writhed and twisted, as if fighting against an invisible force trying to tear them away, their movements frantic and desperate. The air grew thick with the stench of sulfur, the temperature plummeting until Lincoln could see his own breath, each exhale a visible puff of cold air. Then, as suddenly as it began, the light faded, leaving the room in an eerie, unsettling darkness. Silence descended, heavy and absolute, broken only by the sound of Lincoln's ragged breathing, each breath a testament to the ordeal they had just endured. He pushed himself to his feet, his gaze fixed on his sister, his heart pounding with a mixture of fear and desperate hope, praying that she was truly free. Collapses to the floor, her body racked with tremors, each convulsion a sign of the battle within her. The malevolent green glow that had pulsed in her eyes flickered and died, replaced by a flicker of confusion and fear, her true self emerging. She whispered, her voice hoarse and weak, but undeniably her own.
What's happening? Where am I?
Relief washed over Lincoln in a wave so powerful it almost buckled his knees, the weight of his fears lifting. He rushed to his sister's side, gathering her in his arms, his own eyes welling up with tears of relief and gratitude, holding her as if he would never let go.
It's okay, Eva. You're safe now. I've got you. You're back with me.
The nightmare was over. The darkness that had threatened to consume them finally vanquished. The Dybbuk was gone, banished back to the darkness from whence it came, never to return. And in its wake, a new dawn broke over the horizon, a promise of healing, of laughter, of a love that even the darkest of forces could not extinguish, a new beginning for them both.